think about those flocks of birds that fly like this and the murmurations. They're so beautiful.
Yeah.
And, I'll say, we're like those birds. Those birds are not thinking. Those birds are not choosing. They are simply doing exactly what they were wired to do.
Right.
Okay?
Schools of fish, yeah.
Well,
Phil Phails for you.
human beings are animals, and we're designed to work similarly in that we're born with certain personality tendencies, genetic predisposition, and the interaction of what we're born with, and then the environment in which we grow up and those early relationships create our wiring.
Yeah.
Okay. We can call it our internal working model.
Okay.
Some people call it the map of the mind. It's what you were talking about. It gets pretty cemented in those first years of life. And what it does is tell us, what relationships look like, what life looks like, what our identity is, what we can expect from people. It's going to influence the paths we take, the jobs we take, the people we're attracted to, right?
Yeah.
And people think, you're choosing your spouse or you're choosing your career, when I would say that most people, most of the time, are in default mode, which means they are operating basically on their programming or their wiring.
Yes.
Okay. And when that's the case, that's what most of us are doing most of the time.
Yeah.
And that's not bad. That's not broken. We're animals, and that's the way animals are designed to be. The problem is human beings' brains got so big because of agriculture and nutrition and so forth. We got more complicated, and just acting based on our wiring, which worked when we were more primitive creatures, and the goal was to, make sure that you don't get attacked by the wild boar, or that you stay clear of fire. A young child burns their hand. They learn not right. So
don't eat these berries.
Right. That's part of their wiring early on, right? Scare tactics to avoid kids from doing things so that they, wouldn't get dangerous.
Original like German, don't go into the woods.
Yeah,
stories.
but even further back there. And so whatever, lessons you got about safety and love and caring and so forth came from the nurturing of the parent, got internalized, and that's part of your internal working model. Well, and so when somebody says something to us and it causes a reaction, a whoosh, like Terry Real might say, that whoosh reaction comes from all the past times when we had similar sorts of experiences, and we're pretty much fated to respond a certain way based on our genetic predisposition, our personality, and the ways those interacted with our relationships and environment in our early years of life.
Yeah.
So we're all just doing what we're programmed to do. Like, the way out is conscious awareness. Right? The way out is to move into the present moment.
Yes.
Because when we're not in conscious awareness, probably about 85% of whatever we're experiencing in the moment is filtered through the lens of our past experiences, whether those be positive experiences. If you were lucky enough that you had a lot of positive experiences and healthy relationships growing up and that sort of thing, then, you're going to see people as friendly and good and safe and trustworthy. If you're not so lucky, which is the majority of people in the United States, right?
Weren't so lucky.
Who didn't get their attachment needs fully met,
Absolutely.
right? Then, then what the automatic response is, the programmed response, might not be one that's going to increase the odds of feeling good in a relationship.
Yeah.
And so, the way out of that, we were talking about this earlier.
The cycle.
The same thing over and over again is to move into conscious awareness, to say, I'm back in that old dance. I'm triggered.
Yeah.
I'm having a stress response here. I'm back. My 6-year-old self is lit up in my neural network right now,
Yeah.
or my 3-year-old self, or my 15-year-old self, right?
Yeah.
And we can notice that. Then there's all sorts of things we can do. We can pause, we can breathe, we can calm our nervous system, get out of fight or flight and get back into a place of calm. We can give ourselves compassion. We can use our imagination to bring to mind our younger self. We can speak to our younger self. We can develop an inner child practice, right? All those things you can do, but you're not going to do them automatically. They're things that you decide to do when you're in conscious awareness. So going back to your use of the word determined, I think it's helpful for clients to realize that we're all just doing the best we can because
Absolutely.
we're doing what we're wired to do. And the thing is then, if you develop awareness about this, about how this is maybe contributing to your unhappiness in your life, or maybe, health issues or relationship issues or career dissatisfaction or whatever it might be, then, a therapist or your readings or whatever can help you understand what's going on. And then you can choose to engage in behaviors, whether it's therapy, whether it's meditation, developing a mindfulness practice, yoga, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, time in nature, all these kinds of things that are going to help you more often stay in conscious awareness present. And that's the yummy place where you can choose how you're going to respond.
Choose.
Then you can learn about healthy relationship. You can learn, okay, well, this is the language my family spoke, which was sarcasm, aggression, or never talking about your feelings, or shutting down, or any other kinds of behaviors that harm relationships. And you can, that's my impulse, that's my tendency, that was my wiring.
Yeah.
But now that I'm in conscious awareness and I can learn a foreign language as an adult and find there's other ways to behave.
Starts with awareness.
It really, first of all, awareness of your unhappiness.
Of yourself.
Of your unhappiness, so that then you become a seeker, right?
Yeah.
You seek help from a therapist or from,
Books or experiences.
Right.
Yeah. I do a series with a philosopher, Grant Potts. And one of the questions we had was about free will.
Yeah. It's a hot topic.
It's a forever topic. And it shows in our earlier discussion about waking up to your present moment and not having you didn't have any choice about what past you did. You didn't have any choice about what past your parents did or their parents, grandparents did. And that's speaking to this. I think this is generational trauma when they talk about intergenerational trauma. Or just intergenerational activity or whatever it is. It doesn't always have to be trauma. It could be the other side of the coin.
Yeah. It can just be tendencies, practices.
Intergenerational practices. The place where we can make a difference, where we have agency. I love the word agency.
Yeah, I love it too.
Is agency's right next to awareness. And that present moment practice, that be here now.
Yep.
This is the Ram Dass. This is all those seekers. They were whether it's Eckhart Tolle, be here now. All of them seem to be saying the same thing. Wake up. I get chills when I say it. This topic is really exciting.
Yeah. And so often, yes, I mean, I think good psychotherapy is spiritual work. For successful outcomes, there's a degree of spiritual work, but the waking up, even for, when you hear these stories of Eckhart Tolle or all these people, when they had their enlightenment, it often came after periods of suffering.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, often people have to get really, really uncomfortable, lonely, their marriage on the verge of ending, or maybe it already did end, struggling, hitting rock bottom before they're uncomfortable enough that they're going to, seek help.
Yes. I'm going to look at this poem. I want to read it. I'm called to read this poem. I think you'd love it. And it speaks to what we're talking about. You probably know it. A part of it is beyond beyond the field of good and bad. Have you heard that one?
That sounds familiar. Who's that by?
I want to say it's Rumi,
Oh,
or it could be, um, it could be Gibran.
oh yeah, Khalil
Khalil
Gibran.
Gibran.
Yeah.
It could be.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
Oh man. Yeah, here it is. I'm gonna read it. I love it. It's, I don't know, it just clearly came to me as we were talking about this because of the dedication to awareness, the constantly choosing to be here, even when it's difficult to be here, to saddle up next to your suffering, to comfort your sadness, to say, I'm anxious. I feel anxious. Anxiousness is present. And we talked earlier about addiction. That's turning away from, if it was like a John Gottman and his bids for connection, the anxiety, the depression, the anger, that's all a bid for connection that I think your body is making to your consciousness. And to turn towards it is to do what the Buddha said, or do what the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali said. It's to be with yourself.
Yes.
Love that little child.
Right.
When you spoke to, your younger self, that's getting the whoosh. It's a remembrance or something. It can be really difficult to do that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe after we read this poem, we can talk about what gets in the way of people's being able to move into present awareness and how it can help.
Yeah, it's a Rumi quote. The poem is called "A Great Wagon," and this is the middle verse of it. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep.
Thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. Yes.
A couple more.
Okay.
It did some weird things.
Okay. All righty.
Yeah.
I thought you were done.
You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the door sill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. That's the complete middle verse. And I think that sleeping is what people talk about, whether it's Dune, where they talk about
It's the
to
autopilot.
awaken.
It's the autopilot.
Yes.
We were talking about the acting on your wiring.